Are you tired of searching for that perfect kick sample? You want to know how to make a powerful kick in your DAW without having to search endless amounts of samples? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make the perfect kick for your drum and bass track. Without further ado, let's get into the program. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do to make a really good kick is open up Kick 3. And this is going to be like the default preset that it comes loaded with. And this is what that sounds like. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to mold this default kick preset into a kick that we can use in any type of drum and bass track. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over to the amp envelope, and we're going to make this much shorter here. And the next thing that I usually do is I go over to the clicks and I turn this click all the way down. Let's go into the effects tab here and add some drive. You can also add the drive from the macros here on the right. And I'm going to add a little bit more of that first transient with the pitch envelope. As you can hear, if I drag it all the way to the left, the first transient becomes really intense. So you can choose how soft you want it or how hard you want it. The next thing I'm going to do is add a noise layer. And I'm going to unlink it from the overall length of the kick, just so I can just tweak the length of the sample that I'm loading on top. I'm going to add a little point right here so I can actually make the attack softer. And I'm going to make the decay much shorter. I'm also going to high pass it. And I'm going to scroll through the noises to see which one fits this kick the best. So you can also mess around with the pitch, depending on what you're looking for here. And you can also add harmonics onto the sine wave. Now we're going to go on to the effects tab here, and we can choose from various effects like clippers, tube distortion, wave shaping, tape distortion, or overall drive, along with bit crusher, brassify, complex, ring modulator, delay, reverb, multi-filter, EQ, compressor, and SA76. Basically, these are all effects that you can add onto the kick to make it beefier or to add any of these effects that you want onto it. So let's go ahead and add another wave shaper. And here what I like to do is I like to look for the perfect overtone to sit on top of my kick. So by driving the kick up, it's going to create more overtones. And with the filter parameter here, you can choose exactly what type of overtone you want to sit on top of the kick. I think around 10% is going to be fine. Let's go back onto the main. And once I've reached this point, I'm going to draw in some notes on Ableton. Let's go ahead and click and drag the area where we want to draw a note, and then we can press Control-Shift-M or Command-Shift-M if you're on Mac. And here we're going to draw in the first note. And it doesn't really matter what note you place unless you have the pitch tracking, because you decide what note the kick is inside the program with the pitch envelope here. As you can see, it has different notes. And simply by dragging up or down, you can select the note that you want your kick to be at. You can also modify the pitch of the kick by dragging down this parameter here. And as you can see, when I drag it up or down, the notes change by semitones. So this is super useful for tuning your kick with your bass. So here I'm just going to put it in F. And we're going to draw in the standard drum and bass pattern. Now what I'm going to do is click and drag to select this region right here where the notes are. And I'm going to press Control D or Command D if you're in Mac, just to duplicate that section. Cool. So it's sounding pretty good, and this is usually how I go about making my kicks anyways. So now what we're going to do is we're going to layer some other instruments like the snare and some hi-hats so that we can complete the drum loop. And I also want to show you a really cool feature that the Kick 3 has with the phase alignment, so you can actually align the phase of your kick with your sub. So I'm just going to draw in a simple drum and bass loop. And once I found that snare, I'm going to modify the fade out so I can have a shorter decay. I'm also going to modify the decay of the hi-hat here. And now we're going to add some sub. So I'm going to go ahead and load up operator. And I'm just going to play some notes here. And I'm going to have it start at the snare. So as you can see, every time the second kick comes in, it is causing some phase distortion with the sub. So what we're going to do to fix that is that we're going to add the duck VST that I use for side chaining. And we are going to add that onto the sub layer. And once you've got that added on there, we're going to modify the shape here. Drag it all the way to the left. Put the amount to 100 and select trigger mode. Press on sidechain. Then you want to close this, go over to this section right here and choose the input, which is going to be the kick. So now we're going to be able to see the kick come through the bass. And if you press this sidechain option right here, you're going to be able to see the waveform. So every time that the kick comes in, the sub lowers in volume at that very moment. And a really cool feature about kick 3 is that it lets you align the phase of the kick with the sub. So if we invert the phase by clicking and dragging this degree here of the phase all the way to 180, this is inverting the phase of the kick. So let's check again on the spectrum from duck to see if the waveform lines up with the sine wave. So we're pretty close. Let's just go back into kick 3 and put it to 90 degrees and see if we were a bit closer this way. Go back into the sub, look at the spectrum. And you want to move it either into the positive region or the negative region inside kick 3. And this is going to switch the phase of the kick so that it aligns with the sine wave. And aligning the phase of the kick drum with the sub is really important for achieving a clean and powerful low end sound. So phase cancellation can occur when the kick and the sub are out of phase. So this can cause certain frequencies to cancel each other out, resulting in a weaker and less defined low end. So by aligning the phase, you ensure that the low end energy from both the kick and the sub are reinforcing each other, resulting in a fuller, more powerful bass. You're also not wasting any energy on frequencies that cancel out. You're using the full spectrum of bass frequencies to enhance the overall sound, and this helps you achieve a more efficient and balanced mix with more punch and presence without overloading the low end. So by flipping the phase of the kick, you can see which phase alignment sounds better, and you can look at the waveforms of both the kick and the sub, and the waveforms should ideally line up when they both hit at the same time. Though this is not always the case if there are delays or processing happening, sometimes the best way to check phase alignment Sometimes the best way to check phase alignment. Sometimes Sometimes the best way to check phase alignment is by listening and adjusting the sub or kick slightly, either in time or phase, to find the point where both sounds feel stronger together. So by doing this, you can create a mix that has punchy, tight, and impactful low end, which is crucial for an overall professional sound in your drum and bass tracks. So that would be it for this kick tutorial video. Again, my name is Yatuza with DNB Academy, and if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications for our next upload. See you in the next one.